All right. I'm gonna go ahead and do some Fire Pro Wrestling World. Again, it's YouTube. I don't take it too seriously. This is generally a hobby, a platform for me to pretty much just do whatever I want, if we're being honest. I know that's not the purpose of YouTube, but if you're not enjoying your own free time, what's the point, right? The Fire Pro Wrestling World. Figured I'd do some 80s, 90s era matches, kind of like the old Sunday wrestling back in the day. We kind of watched like a minor show, I guess. Although I think Sunday was a major wrestling day, TV wrestling day, if I recall correctly, before it became on Monday nights and whatnot. But it was like Saturday, Sunday, I believe. It might have been Saturday. It's been a long time. Like the late 80s, early 90s was a long time ago. Yeah, I'm gonna run some matches. Again, it's just kind of fooling around. Let's see what we got here. Gonna go ahead and hide the cursor here because it's annoying to see it in game. And I've modded this game to hell and back. I mean, there's so many things that are different that it doesn't even make sense to go through it. But I'll be doing like some sims simply because playing the game is fun, but it's a wrestling game, you know? Wrestling's about the performance more so than anything else. It's not really a fighting game, it's not really an action game. So once you understand how things work, you can pretty much dictate the pace of the match, which is boring, you know? I like tag matches because you can actually control the match up to a point, and you can kind of tag out and let the AI take care of it. Move the mic a little closer. Yeah, tag matches are generally nice for that. I know I need to move the mic a little further because I'm away. Yeah, but singles matches, I'm not a fan of singles matches, if I'm being honest. Too easy to dictate the match. Yeah, so let's see. We're gonna get some matches going. Why not? We're gonna do 80s to 90s, and I'm probably not gonna do a lot of modification on the back end. Like I have a long-term goal with this game to kind of organize everybody's move list. I have the wrestlers that I want, the wrestlers that I actually use for various reasons. I've kind of slowly been going through them, updating the move list a little bit. Adding like extended move lists. Nothing too crazy, but more so extended move lists so I can use the different moves that I've downloaded. I obviously have way too many, but there are a few that I like. We're kind of going through that long-term project because it's just a lot of work to do. But I like it. It also gives me a reason to use some of the edits. One of the major issues that people run into with this game, especially Fire for Wrestling World, is downloading way too many edits or wrestlers. So it's really easy to have like an entire catalog of guys you will never use. So having some reason to go through them and put them into matches is always nice. The territories, and I have a few pro wrestling legends from Japan, basically, like old school Japan. Yeah, I organized this a long time ago. And I think I only have New Japan just because Wrestle Parade is Hannah's stuff. Hannah's probably my favorite OC creator. Her characters are actually pretty, what's the word, creative, you know? Like most of the time when you're using original creation, they tend to follow the same format. There are a few other guys. I like Senator Phillips a lot. Lanky Lefty has some cool stuff too. But then I try to kind of keep it limited, I guess is the word I'd use. So I don't have like a ton of OC guys that I didn't make, because ultimately I do go in there and at least change the moves, at least to some of the custom stuff I have, just so they keep the same spirit in terms of the priorities and stuff, but the moves are a little more updated. Yeah, but I have my own universe for this by now. I mean, there are probably a few other guys I could clean up, but I've actually organized things accordingly. So like these guys, I don't use them very often, but I like the idea of having independence, so it's like 10 per organization basically, and I've used them on occasion. I've been going through this for so long. It's like, yeah, but let's actually start doing some matches, right? Do we start with Monday? I mean, Monday Night Wars is a basic stuff you'd normally do, isn't it? Like everyone and their mother knows about that. I have WWF because that's what I grew up watching. 80s going all the way to like the early 2000s, and then I got tired of it because I didn't think it was great. Past that point, let's see. Let's do some of the classic matches. Why not? Let's do. Thinking about it. Let's do Hacksaw. Hacksaw is always fun. Jim Duggan when he still had hair, sure. And then we'll probably do Hacksaw versus. Nah, Coco versus Hacksaw is not a bad match. It's just that Hacksaw is significantly heavier. Not that it really matters, if we're being honest. Why not? Let's do that one. Coco Beware when he was on that parrot gimmick, I guess. Sure. And then the ring, I believe, is the golden era, which is basically 80s, early 90s. And then I might do Caraco and Hall, although Madison Square Garden makes more sense, I think. And that should be it. You know, normally what I would do when I'm playing off stream is I'd go into their move sets and I'd update their move list and then I'd mark them off as being done. But you know, for the stream, that can take a lot of time. I'd rather just do the matches outright. So we'll do the matches. I guess we'll just talk about what's going on. Really. I mean, it's wrestling. You know, if you've ever watched wrestling in your life, the idea is to be surprised, really. It's a performance at the end of the day. Fire for Wrestling World is probably the best wrestling simulator ever made, simply because it simulates pro wrestling, different types of pro wrestling. It gives you a lot of different options to simulate different things. If you want an older style of wrestling, you can get it. If you want more modern wrestling, you can get it. WWE, Japan, whatever. Yeah, it can pretty much simulate whatever. Of course, the style is a bit antiquated, but it has always been an isometric game. It's like 30 plus years old now. That's just kind of how it is. You know, it's always fun to kind of boot it up on occasion, especially now. I think when I was modding this game, the end goal was to just have something that I could just boot up, you know, kind of just play out a few matches and not really think about it too hard. So we have custom camera angles, nothing too crazy because I still play the game. Now I don't like the really crazy camera angles because it makes it hard to see what's going on most of the time. Then we have a bunch of custom stuff like test of strength. Occasionally things can look a little buggy, just because this is modded content. So you'll see stuff like the railing doesn't really line up all the way. It's really just taking the railing from one arena and putting it into another. So it won't be perfect. What else? Some of the animations may actually flip places depending. There are like some checks going on in the background that aren't always accurate. But it happens to be a fairly small thing, I find, at the end of the day. Like, it's not the end of the world, definitely not. Yeah, that railing on the sides kind of throws me off, though. I'm not a huge fan of it. Yeah, in this game, you can tweak it forever. Like, you can just modify stuff over and over again. Just never ending. Like, eventually you have to call it. Jim Duggan going to the top rope? Was it like a sledgehammer or something? Yeah, he's gonna get down. Playing possum, I see. Clever guy. Yeah, this is what, Madison Square Garden with the rails, with the Caraco and Hall rails, which is probably why it gets cut off like that. I could go back to the barricades, but old school WWF always had the rails. Maybe this just isn't the best arena. I should have done Full Sail. Yeah, you can see some things are going on. It's pretty fun to watch. Again, it's not that complicated, so it's really easy to follow and see what's going on. Like, once you get used to the game, you can kind of see exactly what the AI is doing. The AI is also really smart. It's one of those games where the AI is so good that you can just let it play itself. And it's actually not too bad to watch. Very few games are like that. Like, I can't think of many games where the AI is good enough to just run by itself, honestly. There are very few. Yeah, but you can program the wrestlers to do different things, to get different types of wrestlers. You can get high flyers and heels and, shooters and all sorts of different things. You can get like brawlers and stuff like that. Just how you can have someone like Coco Beware fighting Jim Duggan. It'll actually kind of feel like Coco Beware versus Jim Duggan instead of just being two guys that look like it. And he's probably doing the voice line. I have the headphones off because it's easier to talk with the headphones off. At least for me. I'm soft-spoken, so it kind of gets hard sometimes to keep the volume up without it feeling like effort. Are they gonna do the lariat? No, the shoulder charge, right. It was always the shoulder charge with Jim Duggan, wasn't it? It was the shoulder charge and the 2x4, if I remember correctly. And it was like a running football tackle or something. Can't remember if he had any other finishing moves. It's been a long time. Let's talk about mods. Obviously I'm using the mod pack. Mod pack is the biggest collection of mods for this game, bar none. If you need something in the game that you find lacking, the mod pack probably has it. Then I have a bunch of other mods, personal mods, other mods from other community members, all sorts of things. Was it the lariat? I can't remember. Maybe. Yeah, so like there's some pretty obvious things, different types of grapples, different camera angles, custom voice lines, the custom venue pieces, chain mods for rest holds and grapples and stuff like that, chain wrestling. Wake up mods for taunting and performing on the ground, collaborative mods where they actually kind of set up the attacker's move on defense, so you'll see them like roll on the ground to take a dive and get pinned and stuff like that. It's just a lot of stuff. Like there was a point in time where it felt like we were modding this thing every other month, where there was something coming out like clockwork. Obviously Carl was going crazy, I was going crazy. I think Ace, who runs the place, was still around. We had a bunch of new people showing up, so there are a ton of mods for this game. And I think the thing that we all wanted to do was we wanted to ensure that our mods work with the mod pack. So pretty much any mod you can install will work with the mod pack, which is pretty cool. I think there might be some, what's the word? Some compiler issues, because I think some of us actually use the wrong framework, but it's never really a huge deal. Like just about everything works together. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then that kind of makes it the definitive version of Fire Pro. You can pretty much get anything you want if you really want it, whether it's a move or a component or whatever. It's really just up to you. I've even seen people with like custom audience members and stuff. And they have their own unique audience members depending on their universe. Like I know Lanky Lefty has an entire universe going with his OCs, and he has like custom everything. So stuff like that. And then like on Tatsu is on Twitter. They do some really crazy stuff with mods. They have their own game at this point, honestly. I wouldn't even call it Fire Pro. It's something that looks like Fire Pro, but it's way beyond it. They have all sorts of stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So you can get your own type of own gameplay experience, really. Even if you're using just a lot of real wrestlers like I do, you can get like a different feeling game, even though they're all the same wrestler. So like the Jim Duggan that I have could look different than the Jim Duggan that someone else has, even if it's the exact same edit with the exact same moves and everything else. Just depending on how the mods are set up. Oh, Brainbuster. Oh, he was going for the pin. I'm not really commentating on the match. Again, it is kind of just a relaxed stream. Like, I really hate commentary for games like this, especially this game. You know, it's like unless it's for like a collaborative thing, like you have a collaborative e-fed. I really don't want to hear someone commentate on what I can see. It's really strange, especially since commentary is a skill. You know, most people don't have that skill. What is his finish? It's the shoulder charge, isn't it? No, he's not doing it. Well, he's an edit. I haven't used him in a while. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the football tackle. Honestly, I haven't really used Coco Beware in a while. He's just been jobbing. I'm sorry to say. Duggan, go for the pin. I don't want to pause it and check. I hate doing that. That kind of kills the immersion. I'm gonna pause it to see what the finish is. It's like sometimes you just want to sit down and watch the match. You don't want to think about why this thing's not working the right way and that stuff. It's old. I'm pretty sure it's the shoulder tackle, right? We'll find out. Well, I guess it's a clothesline. Well, okay. Well, he answered my question. His finish is a clothesline. Running lariat, are you sure? That seems wrong. Let me see. It is a clothesline, okay. Okay, well, shows what I know. That's funny. One of his signature moves is the O. The shout. Yeah, I remember the atomic drop in the knee. That's also the thing about simulated matches. You don't know when they're gonna go for a finish. It's like you can kind of be waiting forever. It's also why it's a good idea to give them multiple finishes, even if it's not a signature move. That way they're not just waiting to hit like one move and then pin. They can hit like another move and it can be an unexpected pin and stuff. That's always nice. Let's do DiBiase. Let's do the $1 Million Man. I always like DiBiase. He was always a fun one to watch. I also liked Jake before, things got really bad for him. But Jake was also fun. Let's see. We could do $1 Million Man versus Snuka. What belt does Snuka have? He has some belts. He's a champ? What? Well, I guess. It's been a while since I ran that match, I bet. I don't really do a lot of title matches. And Sheik and Slaughter are probably the tag champs over here. No, Hogan doesn't have the belt because screw Hogan. He always has the belt. Give it to somebody else, man. We can do Snuka, the Warrior. Go, Ultimate Warrior. The muscle parts don't look too bad. He's like one of the few people I gave those parts to because it's Hellwig, that was his entire thing. Was just hulked up. That was basically it. And he's pretty fun to watch because he gasses out just like the Warrior did. Just like he'll get a few moves in, then he's breathing hard and stuff like that, but he'll absolutely run over you if you let him. I can't remember if he runs to the ring, does he? I don't think so. I don't think I use entrance craft. Let me see the ringside railing. Cause I feel like I should turn that off. It does kind of suck to see the lack of railing on that end right there. Not a huge fan. It's not the worst. Honestly, I tend to use this arena for that reason. I tend to do this one. Because it kind of gives you the same feeling, and you still get to use like the best rails in the game, the best barricades. Yep. And then you can customize it as well. So I actually prefer this venue in most situations. The entrances are short. They come in from the sides, stuff like that. The flooring is nice and all of that jazz. I'd say between this and the city gym, those are probably the two best arenas in the game. This gets to the point, and it's very customizable. And so is the gym. It just has a wall. I've seen some crazy people do stuff with the gym as well. They've done a lot with the gym. It's nuts. And then when you consider all of those things are fully customized, like they went through the effort of creating all the skins and stuff, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, but I prefer this one. I'm not really a creative guy. Once upon a time I was, but yeah, that didn't last for very long. Once being creative became about getting a grade, I fell off really fast. But yeah, I mean, even what's the word? Kind of fallen off here. Even I have done some stuff in terms of customizing the venues. The Fire Pro does kind of encourage you to be creative, definitely. I don't think it's a game that's really about collecting things and just pressing go. It does feel like a sandbox where you kind of you get much more out of it when you're willing to put some effort into it. So even if it's just about like creating wrestlers or tweaking the guys that you pick up or whatever. Like I think most of these guys came from like Senator Phillips and Avenger and creators like that. But of course, you know, we can create templates, we can modify the moves, and we can modify the AI and logic and stuff like that to kind of get the type of match that we want, or get the type of wrestler or universe that we want. So even that can make a big difference, I think, as opposed to just collecting someone's edit and pressing go. You know, you have to put some work into it. Like in my case, it would have been modifying edits, creating mods and stuff like that. You know, creating some moves on occasion and kind of tweaking things until it gave me the experience I want. So now when I watch it, you know, I know exactly what's going on in the back end. Like I know what's triggering, I know what check is going on and all that jazz. But if I just don't think about that for a minute, it can actually look like something I used to watch on TV. You know, like DiBiase went for the body slam, but he got reversed because Warrior was too heavy. Probably all the steroids in his system. You know, he's kind of going for the corner attacks. He's going to work the arm, probably setting up for the Cobra Clutch. Also working the neck. You know, it just starts to kind of feel like wrestling. You know, that old Saturday, Sunday night wrestling that you would watch when you were a kid. Even though you know exactly what's happening. Like I know why he just hit the mat a while ago. I know why he's staggering around. I know why he did an arm ringing throw that time. You know, I know why he did the reverse, all that stuff. On a technical level, you can know exactly what's going on, but it's really easy to just forget about it and just watch. I think that's one of the reasons why people love to sim this game so often. You know, like he's hitting the mat because certain things in the back triggered and he's at a certain damage level, and you know, he's down on the ground and the check and all that stuff. I know exactly what's going on, but you know, all those different things. And then once you kind of start thinking of it like a wrestling match, it starts to tell its own story. Like DiBiase refused to stay down. He's getting fired up now, even though the Warrior has like a huge advantage because he's the bigger guy, or the stronger guy, and stuff like that. Which is funny because DiBiase is supposed to be the heel, but you know, it's pretty fluid. It is also kind of setting Warrior up to come back. The usual babyface heel scenario where the babyface gets beat up and the heel, you know, gets his comeuppance later on in the match and all that jazz. Classic Western wrestling, at least. I think Japan, at least, it used to be more about the competition, where it felt like you were watching a sporting event. There wasn't really a give and take like that. That would have been like old school Japan, where you're trying to hulk up. DiBiase says no. Yeah, so it is fun to watch from that perspective. Let's talk about some of the mod interactions that are going on. That might actually be interesting as they come up. So they're the simple ones. We're not going to talk about the presentation mods because those are obvious. Let's talk about the gameplay mods, because, like, you know, I'm the gameplay guy. I've been playing games for like 3 decades plus at this point. So I've always been about gameplay. So it's always if I'm making a mod, it has to impact the gameplay. If I'm making a change, it has to impact how the in-ring action feels. There are a lot of different things that are happening to kind of, add to that experience, the wrestling experience. Let's see. This match is probably over, so maybe we'll talk about it next match. Oh, no. Okay, it's not over, so we can talk about it now. There are a lot of different mods. There are sound-specific mods, too. I mean, there are delays for the referee. Like a while ago, it was a near fall, so the referee actually got up and kind of let the crowd know it was a near fall, which is why he voiced it, too. You have a bunch of different mods that increase the likelihood of a reversal based on stamina loss. You have mods that change the front face lock or the front headlock move based on the wrestler and the situation. You have mods that allow wrestlers to kind of get up. They'll perform a taunt on the ground, and that will do different things. A while ago, he was down, but he got back up because he, refused to stay down. DiBiase was doing some stuff earlier in the match where he was hitting the mat. He was going crazy there. That was also similar. And then you have a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Like you have mods that increase downtime or recovery time when a special move is hit, which kind of gives the attacker additional time to get a pinfall. You have mods that will kind of call a referee over, that will increase the chance of a pinfall if it happens like in the corner of the ring, bottom corner of the ring. I think that's a pretty common issue in this game, where pins that happen at the bottom, at the south corner, are pretty much impossible to win with. You have a bunch of stuff going on. And then my favorite mod, after all the ones I've made, is probably the recovery taunt mod. Just because it triggers randomly, and the type of taunt you get can change, can vary greatly. And depending on when it happens, it can absolutely swing the course of the match. Like someone can hulk up late in a match, and that can actually spoil the finishing sequence for his opponent and change things around. Someone can stay down longer, which will give their opponent additional time to get a big move off or something. You have all sorts of different things going on. It's just pretty cool to see. It's nice to know that all of that work led to something that's just playable. Probably infinitely replayable. And then it's not just you. You also have people who are enjoying it as well. I've had people who have made their own recovery taunts that I've also put into my own game and stuff like that. People have made like custom tests of strengths and stuff like that I've been able to take advantage of. So it's pretty cool. It's a very collaborative community, Fire Pro, even though it's pretty niche, which is probably why it's lasted for as long as it has. It's been at least 20 plus years. Like, I didn't really join it until Fire Pro Wrestling World released, but I knew of it since way back in, like, the early 2000s. When I think I found Super Fire Pro Wrestling Premium on an emulator or something. So it was way back when. And then I think I picked up Destiny, probably, for the Dreamcast. And then the usual pass, Destiny, Returns, That's pretty cool. This is probably the last game we'll get, but we honestly don't need another game. I feel like the Warrior should end it soon. I don't think the Warrior really submits, so good luck, DiBiase. I don't think DiBiase can really do anything. He's gonna go for the splash. He's trying to go for the splash. He keeps trying. He'll eventually just go for the splash instead of hyping it up, but he tends to hype it up a lot. DiBiase might be going for the Cobra Clutch. Yeah, he's trying. Yeah. Oh, heel. The laugh. That's classic DiBiase, huh? Kick him in the crotch and laugh. I can't remember if the crowd boos him when he laughs. I don't think I have him set up as a heel, which is weird. Yeah, DiBiase trying to win off of anything, basically. So he keeps trying to pin, which makes sense. If you think about it, that kind of makes perfect sense. You know, anytime you can get him down, you go for a pinfall. Meanwhile, Warrior's being Warrior. He's just taking drugs and being crazy, not being very efficient. I like the drop kick. The acclaimed drop kick's very nice. There are so many custom moves in this game. It's crazy. I remember when people were making moves before we got Movecraft, way back when we had Wazamake. I didn't think that many people would be willing to make moves, but it's crazy. Like there are so many moves in this game that you can't even go through them all now. You know, of course they're varying quality, some are better than others, but honestly, that's not the point. Oh, Warrior, come on. There are just so many now. He's trying to set up for the body splash. He might just end it with the shoulder tackle. He also has that. I think he also has like some other moves that he can do. He's also gassed, so he's gonna get reversed like crazy. Like that mod's not helping him out at all. He gasses all the time. That's why DiBiase keeps reversing everything. Because Warrior gasses. And he also no-sells apparently. Oh, okay. Okay. DiBiase not selling either, I see you. It stopped being a wrestling match a while ago. He's probably gonna throw him out of the ring. That would have been fitting. He just chucked him out. Yeah. The way things are lining up now, like he's trying to finish it, but he's also getting to DiBiase when he's just about to recover. Yeah, so like if he goes for it now, he would have had a chance. Yeah, okay, DiBiase's up again. It's just his timing is bad. That's the one thing about simulating this game. There are some clear rules, gameplay rules that the AI doesn't really take into consideration. And sometimes you have to babysit them to ensure that they get the desired outcome. But when you do that, you know exactly how they're gonna complete a match. So I've never really been a fan of doing that. I'd rather just let things happen organically, even if that means that one guy refuses to end the match. Okay, that would have been an end. I didn't expect that. The body slam reversal. Yeah, okay, that worked. That's the referee going down to check for the pinfall. You know, in the base game, they don't do that. They just stand there and wait. The DiBiase is trying to end it, though. I don't know what Hellwig is doing over here. Maybe he doesn't care. That would be very, very much like him, huh? Either he squashes you or he blows up. Or he just stiffs you and says, screw it. DiBiase might win, actually. Like, he might just choke him out. Unless the Warrior gets a pinfall, somehow. It's like he has a bunch of ways to go into the body press, too. It's not even like he has a few. It is a chance, though. It has to roll on the table. But sometimes they won't actually roll it. Like, he doesn't seem to be rolling at all. Shoulder tackle? No. Yeah, he's trying. Is he gonna get it this time? Boom. Oh, I thought I had the updated body press. Yeah, he's been trying to do that for like the last 5 minutes. He finally got it. Ugh, that was long. I also like the fact that matches take place in double time. So it says 27 minutes, but that was actually like 14 minutes and something seconds, which is still pretty long. But it's not actually this long. That's actually pretty cool. It kind of gives you the feeling of a long drawn-out match. And to be fair, if it's gonna go almost 30 minutes, it makes sense for it to be those two guys. You know, I'll give that to them. Let's do let's do one more from this era. Let's do I don't want to do Hogan because Hogan's just gonna run over everybody. Let's do Hogan just to do it. Why not? I mean, Hogan is Hogan, you know? He has to close the show. Of course, Terry has to close the show. And I have all these different Hogan entrance attires because I used to be a Hulkamaniac. a little Hulkamaniac back in the day. I said my prayers and took my vitamins and all that stuff. Let's see. Does he come out with the shirt? Yeah, he does. Yeah, of course. One of the few times I use actual like logos from actual shirts. And yeah, like the guy who played Hogan is kind of a piece of shit, but you know, the character was always fun. I feel like that's kind of important when it comes to being a wrestling fan. You have to be able to separate the character from the man himself.
Ring the bell.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be like a Ric Flair fan or a Hulk Hogan fan or any of that stuff. You know, you have to kind of separate it. It's kind of like TV in that sense, movies. You may not like the actor, but you can appreciate the fact that they can act, or they can sing, or they can produce. You know, you can separate the two, and still call people out for, you know, things that they need to be called out on. Yeah, but Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter, you know, another thing I like about the Fire Pro mods, the extended move list mod in particular allows you to have like different versions of the same wrestler. So like without the mod and in previous games, you'd have to literally have different versions of one wrestler. So you'd have to have like a Hulk Hogan, an old Hulk Hogan, and a Hulk Hogan from Japan, and all sorts of other stuff. But you know, you can kind of have a Hulk Hogan that fights different ways depending on the situation. So right now I have the WWF Hulk Hogan, which is the Hulk Hogan you're familiar with, obviously. And then I have the Japan Hulk Hogan, which is when he went to Japan. He fights in a completely different style over there. It's pretty cool. Also, it looks like this guy is chaining the abdominal stretch. I've never seen that. I didn't even realize that was in this. I must have set it up as a chain. There was one point in time where I was just going crazy. I was just setting everything up. It's like I'm going to set this up and I'm going to set that up. And, you know, if you see my mod windows, your head would spin. It's crazy. But it paid off because ultimately this was the goal, you know? I want things to happen and I don't even want to remember that I did those things. They're just there. So when a guy does a body slam and he gets reversed with a pinfall late in the match and it ends the match, that's the point, right? That's what you want from a wrestling simulator. You want the disbelief and the surprise and the shock and stuff. Otherwise, it's just another video game that you're watching. Yeah, so he's cranking it. Pretty basic. He's also chaining it a little bit, which is cool. You know, the chain wrestling mod there in effect. And then Suni did a really good job with those chains because they can loop in various ways. Obviously, Carl did a good job in terms of setting up the idea to begin with, but Suni's chains are crazy. I know Zinsky has some chains as well, but I'm not really a fan of Zinsky's chains because they're really moved. You know, they don't really chain organically. You know, when a Zinsky chain starts up, it's kind of obvious where it's going to go. When a Suni chain starts up, you're not sure if it's going to end on that move, or if it's going to go to another move, or if it's going to get reversed. It's a proper chain. It takes way more work to set up, but I think it's much better in terms of execution. That's again, that's Fire Pro. You know, you get out of it what you put into it, which is a pretty important rule for sure. Yeah, this is a standard WWF match, really. It's just a bunch of basic moves and showboating and stuff like that, especially at the higher on the card. So it's fitting, really. You know, chin locks and head locks and some whips and stuff. Realistic, I guess. As realistic as a wrestling match can be. Yeah, some basic elbow drops and stuff. They're kind of plodding around the ring, you can tell by their movement. If I did something like a Lucha Libre match or something like that, or a Cruiserweight match, it would look completely different. You know, it's not just one style of match. Yeah, so just a lot of punches and brawling and stuff like that. Occasionally circling. Probably gonna be a headlock. A bear hug, yeah. Right. That's WWF Hogan. I haven't seen him appeal to the crowd more than like twice, so that's not accurate at all. Gotta make him appeal more apparently. But it's one of those things where you don't want him going crazy with certain things, because you'll get matches where he does nothing but that thing. They kind of want him to tone it down and naturally go into different things. Like he's gassing, of course, because he's Hogan. He gasses. Hogan never really had long matches. They were always pretty short, I think, relatively short. You're breathing now, though, trying to grapple. The back. Yeah, I like how some of those taunts trigger in certain conditions. When I made it, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted situations where it just flows naturally. A guy eats a suplex, he tries to sit up and falls back down. A guy does a big move, he's an agile guy, he flips back up and stuff. That's why I made it in the first place. The guy gets dropped on his back, he holds his back, and stuff like that. Okay, this might be going towards the finish, I think. Looking like it. Well, maybe. If Hogan won that, it probably would have ended. Probably would have done the boot into the leg drop and immediate win. Because nobody kicks out of that, apparently. They can kick out of it in this game, but it's rare. Abdominal stretch. I've never seen that chain before. That's new. I know they can extend it, but I didn't realize they could chain it. What is he gonna go for? Oh, he's gonna go for the 3 punches. Yep. Oh, he didn't go for the leg drop. He doesn't always go for the leg drop. That's another thing about Fire Pro. When you know what they're gonna do after a certain move, it gets really dull. So it's like he's gonna do the 3 punches, and you're asking, is he gonna go for the leg drop? Is he gonna delay it for some reason or another? You know, and you can kind of put a story to it. Maybe he's not done beating on his opponent or something. You know, or maybe he feels like he needs to do more damage or whatever. I feel like that's when Fire Pro is at its best for sure. Okay, Slaughter's going for it. I wonder if he's gonna Hulk up. He might do it. No, nah, maybe. We'll see. I don't think I gave Hogan those default wake up taunts. He had his own set. Body slam. Okay, at least he went for a pin. Yeah, he has his own specialized taunts when he gets knocked down, for obvious reasons. Yeah, he has that one because, you know, Hogan doesn't sell. So he tries to get up. He does that one a lot. He also has the Hulk up. He's the reason why I made the Hulk up taunt. And he actually does, well, I didn't make the taunt. Who made that taunt? Was it Sunid? Somebody made that taunt. But that's the reason why he has it. I don't know, maybe I made it. It's been a long time. You know, it gets to the point where you make so many things that you forget. That's the reason why he has the Hulk up taunt. And I think I finally fixed it so he can't just get slapped out of it immediately, but he can still get slapped out of it at the end. So if someone's waiting to nail him at the end of it, he can just eat a clothesline or something for his trouble. Yeah, he's not getting the best of it though. He just did. He has a chance to breathe. Oh, that's a DQ. Oh, that's actually a DQ. He hits with it. Can't do that. The ref will call it. It's kind of cool that they'll still try to do it. They don't necessarily care. The boot. Boom. The leg drop. Boom. That's probably game. That's crazy. And then I like the way the crowd will actually applaud. It's funny because that has like two purposes. The primary purpose is just to give it some more flavor. You know, as the match goes on, you know, the guys are giving it their all, the audience gets into it. But it's also kind of giving you information as the player. So if you've noticed, Fire Pro Wrestling is pretty limited in terms of the UI. You don't see health bars or anything like that. So the audience sounding off kind of gives you an idea of where the match is. So generally, when they sound off like that, one of the guys are ready to go, more or less. So it's like a while ago they applauded after the pinfall because Sergeant Slaughter is almost finished, basically. That's pretty cool to have mod that kind of do two things. You know, you can kind of turn your brain off and just look at it as a show, or you can kind of look at it as a look at it mechanically and see how things work as well. So you as the booker, as a fantasy booker, knows what's going on. That leg drop is so good. Stay down, Slaughter. Stay down. There you go. Making the man look bad. Yeah, that leg drop is so good though. There's a pinning version as well. I think it's like a at head move where like he just goes into a grapple or a ground move, and you just get the pinfall naturally. There's also a mod. I think I made that one. Where when they get hit by downed moves, they stay down longer. Because a big issue with this game is that the edits won't sell, or they won't actually stay down after moves like that. So if you do something like the people's elbow, depending on recovery time, they may just pop back up and then they can't pin. Hogan ending on the leg drop is almost impossible in the base game because it takes so long to execute. Normally you'll want him to do the taunt, and then he has to run the ropes, and then he has to hit the move, and then he has to get up, and then he has to pin. So by the time he actually hits the move, it's they've recovered. So that mod kind of keeps them down longer, depending on the move. So he does the leg drop. Basically, they're ready to get up. They eat the leg drop. They just die, basically. Or they're down for even longer, so he gets a chance to pin. So I like that. Again, it's one of those things where it's kind of filling in some of the gaps that that Fire Pro normally has. You know, as you've been playing the game for a while, you get used to seeing the gaps and you know exactly where things need to be cleaned up. That kind of helps a little bit. Let's go to the 90s, though. Let's do Tatanka. I like Tatanka. I don't know why. I've always liked Tatanka. And it's the same venue, I think. I also have Monday Night Raw, which is Raw before the Monday Night War started. So it's like that old school Raw way back when. So I could do Tatanka, and I could throw him up against, I don't know. Tatanka. I mean, I'd like him to win, but I'm not sure if he will. Just because I want him to win doesn't mean he'll win. Maybe Sean Waltham, when he was still the 1-2-3 kid. Which is kind of weird, it's like face versus face, but you know. And let's see if Madison Square Garden's set up properly. I think Tatanka has the headdress. I think so. The custom headdress. And then I'll probably just do the company ref. I have a bunch of windows triggering in the background. And then I also have the audience mod, where the volume increases or decreases depending on the rank of the wrestlers. So I guess between Tatanka and the 1-2-3 kid, they're not that popular. So the audience isn't filled up as much. Which seems kind of odd, because, you know, in a wrestling show, the audience is normally full, because people just show up and they're there. But I like that idea. If you have, like, a card that you're running, and you have something like, if you're treating it like a boxing event, you can kind of do the lower tier matches first, when the crowd is still kind of empty as people are trickling in. And then as the show progresses, you can kind of get higher and higher up the card. You can have better and better wrestlers that draw more and more people to the matches, to the building, the venue. And then it kind of eventually gets packed out. That's an interesting one. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at everything as one card, as one show. But then, you know, Fire Pro is also about fantasy booking, about setting up your card in different ways. So I think it really adds to that experience as well. If you're someone who likes to book matches and stuff, which a lot of people like to do. They like to play booker and put matches together and track results and stuff like that. I even have that little score thing at the top of the screen sounding off to kind of tell me what the win-loss record is. And that kind of helps me book a little bit. I have something in the background that I can check as well. I have a little WinForms app that will show me, but I also have I have it right there too. And then that way it tells me exactly how this guy is doing. You know, do I need to give him a push? You know, is he on a run? All sorts of different stuff. And then there are some gamification things happening in the background there, which is generally why I have my roster sorted into promotions. That's why I have so many promotions, because that's the entire point. You know, wrestlers can get upset because they're losing a lot. They can go down in morale. They can leave, and once they leave, you have to book them somewhere else and all sorts of other stuff. And you can also do like the old traveling territory system, where guys would go from place to place and they would kind of give local talent a shine and stuff like that. So all those things are kind of taken into consideration. Pretty sure Tatanka's gonna run through 1, 2, 3 kids. The wake up. I'm gonna run through them, which is why I put them together. What I like about that system is the fact that wins and losses aren't the only thing that matter. I have like a morale system going on in the background. So if it was a really good match and they got a really good rating, that might increase morale. If somebody won but it was a stinker, that might reduce morale. If it was an upset victory, that might increase morale even more. If it was for a title and stuff like that. So there are a bunch of different things going on in the background that can increase morale, more than just the win and the loss. So like, for example, 1, 2, 3 kid's probably gonna lose. If he has like a huge match, his morale could even go up, and that will kind of give him some minor bonuses in the future. They're pretty minor. It's like when Ukemi triggers. Ukemi itself is pretty minor. It's more of a fighting spirit thing, so it will be kind of based on that. Yeah, but some interesting stuff for sure. See what else we got going on here. It's going about as I'd expect. Tatanka generally is doing more damage. 1, 2, 3 kids getting his stuff in occasionally, but Tatanka's fresher. He has the upper hand. He has the more powerful moveset and parameters, I think. Ooh, low blow. What? That's not the move to do. Yeah, Tatanka's gonna have all the power moves, obviously. 1, 2, 3 kid's gonna be more the fast, high-flying guy. You can also see that he's a lot faster. When he runs the ropes, he moves more quickly, compared to Tatanka, who's much slower. He's gonna go for the moonsault, probably. Or he's gonna go for the leg drop. Oh, missed. Faked out. Okay, veteran move, I see you. Gets chopped. Not bad. Rookie move, had the back and went for the front. Duh. He's so damaged that he can't follow up. I really love how some of these trigger. They tell their own story. He had the advantage, but he can't capitalize. And he's still reeling from the last few moves. Oh, and that's probably gonna cost him. No, not the pin. So that would have been the pinfall. That was a good time for it. Teaching the rookie a lesson, I guess. Apparently. I'm pretty sure the DDT leads to a pin. Oh, that's no good. Let's see what else we got going on. Well, he asked for it. End of the trail. Oh, he dragged him. Yeah, that killed it. The ref would have counted it immediately, too. He's gonna kick out. Yeah. Yeah, the drag. I didn't turn on Lord's mod to eliminate the drag, because the ref would have absolutely counted it right there. You know, he was in perfect position, but yeah. That's why that mod exists. You know, that normally happens and the match doesn't end. Like, you never want a situation where you know that a match will or won't end. You always want to say maybe. But maybe it might end. That's the entire point. What else do they have for a finish? I don't even remember. That might be one of them. Yep. Someone drop. That should be it. Oh no, okay. Fighting spirit from the little guy, I got it. Okay. Man says no. That is very much like the 1, 2, 3 kid. Not down and out. And go for the moonsault now? Maybe. It's a standing moonsault though, I think. It's against standing opponents. And then that's Sean Waltham before he was X-Pac, I think. He was the 1, 2, 3 kid first. And then he may have gone straight to being X-Pac and DX, and then he was thick for like that ill-fated run as X Factor or with X Factor. That's terrible. And then he went to WCW, I think.
Give up.
He may have been stick in WCW, probably X Factor in WWF, right before he left. Call it, ref. That's it. Okay. Huh. Maybe he needs to crit this guy. Needs to get him out of there, literally. Knock him out. It's also a thing. Yeah, they're trying to end it, but you know, you never know when it's gonna end, really. You can only assume. He should be able to get the standing moonsault from the middle of the ring. He might be able to. He's not going for it, though. Yeah, I don't like the low blow of the reversal. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him. I might change the reversal style. I think it's American. But it should probably be junior for him. I might need to change that. Yeah, so that's also a highlight of Fire Pro, constantly tweaking things, you know? It's like you're never satisfied. Like I don't like his reversal style because he did a low blow. And 1 2 3 Kid's supposed to be a face, you know, for example. So a lot of people can tweak stuff in this game forever, basically. It just never ends. I'm probably gonna make him a junior immediately because I'm gonna forget, I'm sure. What else we got? He's trying to end it now, but he's getting reversed. Probably tired. Gonna end it on the bear hug. Yep. Yeah, he can only take so much punishment. Good try though. Yeah. 15 minutes. That's kind of like 7 minutes, wasn't it? It's double time. I think we actually have a mod that can change the time, but I think by default it's double time, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just go ahead and change his reversal style. And he's at the top of the list because 1 2 3. That makes sense. It's a skill. Yeah, his return style shouldn't be American. It should be junior. Yep. There you go. Moonsault. Let me just check. His moonsault's a standing moonsault, right? Moonsault is a... Yep, okay. I thought so. Yeah, I remember 1 2 3 Kid. He left an impression because he was a small guy in that roster. It was all about the Giants back then. I remember him pretty clearly. Let's do... let's jump up the card here. Let's do... Ooh, look, it's Ric Flair. It's 90s Ric Flair. Nice. Flair flop. Of course. Of course. Flair. 90s Flair. I think this is one of the few wrestlers where I have, like, multiple eras. Flair's one, Luger's the other. And then I think Michaels is the third. Bret... I still have 90s Bret. There's only one Bret Hart, though. And I think I might have another Gold Dust, maybe? Or maybe it's just a Gold Dust I forgot to update. No, I think it's just the one Gold Dust. Yeah. So that's a remnant from way back in the day when I had like multiple versions of certain wrestlers. And then I have a record for Gold Dust, which is why the 90s is still there. You know, there are things that are tracking this name, so he's still there. Same for Bret Hart. There's one Bret Hart, but you know. There are 2 Lex Lugers, because I have a Lex Luger from the territories. Way back here. In, what was it? Was it Georgia? Jim Crockett? Yeah. I have the Lex Luger from back there. There were 2 different Lex Lugers, which is why he's there. The Horseman Luger, basically. And then the, Great American Tour Luger from the WWF. The Lex Express, way back then. Let's do Mr. Perfect, though. I wonder if he has the towel. I don't even remember. He might have the towel, actually. Let's give him a worthwhile opponent. Ooh, that would be a good match. Owen versus Mr. Perfect. That's a solid match. Yeah, let's do that one. I like the idea of that match for sure. I don't think I gave him the towel. No, I haven't updated the 90s guys yet. I've been going through the territories guys. I'm kind of doing it slowly. I'll do the territories guys, and then I'll do the Japanese wrestling legends, which is about like 30 guys or something. It might be a little more than that because it's no more than 50 for sure. It's like all Japan and stuff like that, and then I'll eventually get down to WWF, but I haven't touched them yet. You can see I have the record keeping at the top. I like the way the mod pack does it a little more, but Carl is way more versed in Unity than I am. Like I know next to nothing about Unity. He knows how to get objects and stuff into the game and manipulate them. So we'll have like the they'll have like the graphic for the wins and losses on the name card and things like that. He's done some really cool things, honestly. And then he's been supporting the other modders. So you have some modders who kind of hoard their knowledge. If you're used to most games, people will be like, I've made this thing and it's giving me recognition and likes and stuff like that, and I want to keep it all to myself. Carl didn't do that. He literally made frameworks for us. So it's like we can plug things in and we can get access to different things and all sorts of stuff. And he even made like documentation for modding tools and all sorts of stuff like that. There's a modding channel where he'll answer questions even up to today, I think. He has like some health issue that kind of prevent him from modding as much as he used to. But even then he's still willing to kind of give advice, which is nice. Because he's under no obligation to do any of that. He could easily say, this is my work, figure it out yourself. But he doesn't do that. Yeah, so we've done some cool things. I know we have the custom fight graphics. I had implemented that, but I couldn't figure out how to get the object working correctly. It was a real pain, real hassle for me. Like, I couldn't even rotate it. I was trying to rotate the object and I couldn't do it. So eventually he actually did it himself and handed me the code, so maybe we'll see it in a match, I don't know. I don't have a lot of criticals happening because I have it set to low. And then I have another option that also kind of overrides the critical to give the wrestler another chance. But when you see it, it does pop. You have like custom critical images. You have like wrestler specific images. If Hogan gets the critical, you get like a critical brother and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, but Mr. Perfect versus Owen Hart is an interesting matchup. They're both pretty athletic as you see them rolling to get back up. Both of them have done it at least once. A little bit of showmanship there. It's more of a middleweight match if wrestling had weight classes. Owen Hart versus Mr. Perfect, it's definitely a middleweight match. Hogan versus someone like Slaughter is a heavyweight match, obviously. These guys are athletic, they're pretty fast, as you can see. They have some nice amateur wrestling moves with not just grunt holds and stuff and brawling. It's not just holds and like punches and stuff like that. They also have some decent submissions, so they'll work the limbs and stuff. One of Owen Hart's finishes is the sharpshooter, so he's going to be working the lower body. Mr. Perfect does have some leg submissions, so he'll have moves that target the legs as well. I think he also has moves that target the neck, because his finish is the perfect plex. It's pretty cool to see how they work together. And you see, you have like takedowns and stuff because it makes sense for him. Drop toe hold into like a back mount and things like that, into a standing headlock. Very nice. And then chaining it to a front headlock. Yep. It's actually pretty cool to see how technical this match is in comparison to even the last match, where it was like what, David versus Goliath? One little guy who's fast, one bigger guy who's really strong. It's just two technical guys. And depending on what you want, you could get like a technical masterclass, basically, where it's just two guys doing a bunch of reversals and holds and stuff like that. And it looks really pretty, and then at the end of the day, they're also moves that are doing damage in the background. So it's like this guy's flipping around and doing like doing all that different stuff. What was his name again? The English guy? I forget. The technical wizard from England. He's a legend. I don't know. I've forgotten his name, but you can do stuff like that. Kind of just escape holds and do a bunch of stuff, and it's like, yeah. I'm actually gonna look it up. I can't believe I've forgotten his name. Johnny Faint. There you go. That's his name. I'm getting a call. Yeah, not a huge fan of calls. Sometimes they're important, most of the time it's a waste of my time. Which is sad because it's family calling, but you know, I'm not a huge fan of being bothered, to be honest. So they'll have to wait. Yeah, but Johnny Saint was the guy. So you can have like a match where it's literally just a Johnny Saint match, where it's not a significant amount of damage being done, but you know, they're all different moves that are doing things in the background. So eventually there will be a pinfall. So you can get that World of Sport stuff going as well. It's really cool. It's a very simple system, but it's very what's the word? It's very flexible, you know? Because ultimately at the back the same thing is happening no matter what style you're simulating. But how it looks will be different for sure. Yes, it's more of a technical match. They have a few of the bigger moves like the backbreakers and strikes and stuff. You know, it's gonna look a lot different. You know, he's working the back for the sharpshooter. You know, obviously is agile as well. Owen Hart. I think it used to be the Blue Blazer back in the day as well, which was more of a lucha libre type of gimmick, I think. So you know, he has some of the high flying stuff going on as well. Mr. Perfect is just Mr. Perfect, really. Can't remember if he had an amateur background, amateur wrestling background in college. He may have. Oh, first perfect plex ends the match. Didn't even get a chance to kick out of that one. And then the crowd immediately reacts, because the crowd will always react even if the match just ends immediately. Just because I like the idea of the crowd actually reacting, you know? That's the whole point of having the audience. Let's do one more from this era. Let me think. Let's do Flair, just because I like Flair. Flair versus who, though? That's the question. And then we'll end it with probably Monday Night Wars, I think. Might be a good one to end it on. Although Ruthless Aggression's not bad. I might end it with Ruthless Aggression. Let's do Flair versus Shawn. Shawn when he was still, you know, Shawn before he found Jesus, apparently. Why not? I don't think this Flair has a robe. I think I did the robes for the 80s Flair. Yep, no robe for this Flair. Blasphemy, I know, but I haven't got around messing with this roster yet. He still kind of does Flair things, though. It's just I haven't given him the advanced tactics yet. He just does a random taunt on the stage out of his taunt list. Yeah, of course. It's right. Is this guy gonna elbow drop into kip up? That would be amazing.
Ring the bell.
Because elbow drop into kip up is literally why I made the recovery taunt mod in the first place. It's like I was simulating a match with Shawn Michaels, and he did the elbow drop. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if he kipped up after that move? And lo and behold, there you have the mod. It's funny, because most of the mods are like that. Like the headlock reversal, the headlock, face lock replacement mod came about because I was watching a match, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if they went into a headlock here? And boom. It wasn't even the headlock. It was like, wouldn't it be cool if they did something else instead of the elbow? And then I think the initial mod was just doing the basic stock animations. So it's like you do the arm drag, you do the knuckle arrow, you do the stuff that you do on reversal. And then I think I put custom moves in there after the fact. Which is pretty neat, you know, it kind of flowed together. It's like you're playing the game, you're simulating the game. Wouldn't it be cool if this thing was possible, and boom, and you make it. You know, it's pretty cool. And then I've never really been good at like making assets and stuff, moves and stuff. You have talented people who will do that and add to it. So I think for the recovery taunt mod, the very first taunts I got were from a friend who made them. You know, the guy's really talented at making moves. I think he was making moves way before we got Movecraft. And he actually made like a handful of taunts I could throw in there. And that's why we have the kip up. He literally made the kip up, I think, if I remember correctly. Either he or Sunid made it. Somebody made it for me. But he did like the sit up, he did the Undertaker sit up, he did a bunch of other stuff. But like so many people have made their own things now. It's just crazy. Yeah, but I want to see how this works out. If it's Flair, he's gonna flop at least once. I made sure that every Flair I have flops at least once per match. Like I don't like when they overdo it, but there's gonna be a flop somewhere. Just because it's not a Flair, it's not a Flair match if he doesn't flop. And it's funny because he'll flop off of the most random things. He'll hit a suplex and he'll flop. You know, he'll get punched in the face and he'll flop. He'll try to get up and he flops. But you know, he's also Flair. He's a heel. He'll beg off and stuff, which is what he's doing right now. And then, you know, you can get hit out of it because, you know, no, you're not falling for it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so he's kind of the showman Flair, but he's not a joke, obviously. He's Flair. He does his moves to the legs do a lot of damage. And Shawn Michaels has his own flop. Overselling, essentially. Who did he do that against? I think it was against Vader, and then someone made the move, made the oversell against Vader. It may have been FPW on Steam. And then I just made it a recovery taunt because it's hilarious. Let's see. Michaels will probably hit the elbow drop, but whether or not he kips up depends. Because things have to line up. He kipped up there, sure. But it really depends. Boom. Oh, he did it! He did it! We gotta make that a gift, boys. He fucking did it. He actually did it. I don't believe it. Okay, you're overdoing it now, Sean, but yeah. Man actually did elbow drop and a kip up. I mean, I didn't expect him to do the sweet shin music. That's asking too much. That's expecting way too much, but he did it. Yeah, you love to see when things fall in line, huh? Yeah, but I don't expect him to do the entire sequence. That's crazy. That's like winning the lottery, right? Elbow drop, into kip up, into taunts, into sweet chin music, into 1, 2, 3. There's no way. Yeah, he's overdoing it now. Yeah, that's also a Fire Pro thing. Sometimes they'll kind of rinse a move a lot, even if you have the chance set to low, because it is like a dice roll. And sometimes they'll roll it more than once. Yeah, you can tell I haven't updated that Flair. He doesn't have the new face knee drop yet. Also, he hasn't flopped. What's going on, Flair? Nah. He'll do it eventually. Like, I literally gave him priorities where he'll hit a move, and there's like a very small chance that he'll flop after it. Like, literally just get up and flop. So, even if it doesn't trigger as a recovery taunt, he's gonna do it, I imagine. Ooh, side slam. Ugh. Maybe not. Maybe he's just dead. Yeah, maybe he's just dead. That's side slam. Oof. Okay. Oh, he's trying to get up. He's trying to do it right there. Yeah, every time he does that, he's trying to do something. That would have been a time for him to flop. It's just so late in the match that he can't even get up now. That's a problem. Yeah. Yeah, every time he tries to get up, that's, that could have been a flop attempt. I think he's gonna go for the sweet chin music now because he's gonna be in the center of the ring. No? Okay. Okay, that's ill-advised. I don't know about that. Oh, he's busted up. Look at the blood. All that blood. Jeez. that's Flair, huh? Too bad we can't paint his hair in it. There used to be a mod that allowed you to change custom parts or costume parts depending on different points of the match. Like after different actions, you could have like Hulk Hogan rip off his shirt or something, or you could make like Bruce Banner. You could make the Incredible Hulk basically transform. You know, there's probably a point in time where you could make Flair change his hair depending on how much he's bleeding, and then he'd just be you know, he'd just have like red hair and stuff. Yeah, he's still pretty busted up, which is funny because he gets a boost when he starts bleeding, which is you know, fitting. Yeah, that's actually his time to come back. Yep. Yep. He didn't taunt though, so he didn't get the boost to attack.
Will you give up? Will you
I feel like taunting before submission moves is an underrated technique too. Because if you have the right wrestler skill, you get like a 100% boost to the damage done, I think, or something like that. And then I think it loops if you're it loops for every single tick of damage if it's a submission move. He's dead. He's dead. Yep. Good try, Flair. Yeah. No flop though. He tried to get up. He couldn't even get up enough to flop. Yeah, but Flair losing was kind of a foregone conclusion. Give me 1 minute. I gotta go lock up. It is 9 o'clock. Gee. It's 9 o'clock already, huh? Almost Monday. Blah. Let's do a couple of matches. I need to read before bed. Gotta get back to reading. Wish I could get my nephews to understand the importance of that and reading for fun. No, at their age, I read everything in sight. I mean, when I was their age, I had to learn how to use MS-DOS to do anything. I had to learn how to use a command line, so that was a long time ago. If I could do anything. Cena. the clean cut Cena. Oh. Cena. The hair, though. The hair. Yeah. It's about when I stopped watching the WWF. About this time. That's Benoit, though. Benoit. The Mr. Redacted himself. I liked Benoit, you know, regardless of how he ended up. So he was always fun to watch for sure. It's Ric Flair. 3 versions of Ric Flair. Yeah. You can tell I really liked Flair. I like this version of Flair. I think this is the first one I grabbed. And then I heavily modified it. In a lot of different ways, really. To get the evolution Flair. This Flair was fun. In fact, let's do this Flair. He's orange, though. Ugh. He's pretty orange. And he's a bit bigger than, what's his name? Than Benoit. Not the best Flair. I feel like that one's better, for sure. I can clean him up. Maybe not right now, though. Ooh, let's do... Ooh, Ray. I'm a huge Ray fan. The Wolverine costume, yes, I forgot he had that. That good stuff. I want to do Benoit though. Trying to think. Maybe Benoit versus CM Punk. CM Punk was after my time. I wasn't really they weren't really there. Maybe Benoit versus Edge. Why not? And then this would be probably SmackDown or Raw. Oh, this might be SmackDown. I don't remember. I could check, but I'm trying to wing it here. Might have been SmackDown. Pretty sure. Trying to remember where they're placed in terms of venue. Yeah, it's SmackDown, right? Yeah, I've never used Edge here. At least here, I've used them before, but not here apparently. Yeah. Heck, let me check something. I usually have a version of this ring for everybody. Of this venue, 'cause I really like this venue. Yeah, so I have a version for literally every promotion. It's probably my favorite venue. It's so simple. You don't have to do anything too crazy with it. I need to clean up that flare. Pretty easy to do. Yeah, so it's Edge and it's Benoit. Of course, Benoit's the smaller guy, but he's you know, he's a technician basically. Edge is Edge. You'd expect. Edge was always pretty tall, wasn't he? He's more lanky tall though. He wasn't really stocky. But it's hard to do lanky tall in this, honestly. Like you can do it, but it can be tough. Yeah, that was a bit of a bug. A reversal chest chop triggered, but it didn't trigger properly. He seems way too big. Let me check something out over here. Like Avenger is my go-to guy for anything related to appearances. He just does appearances so well. Like in terms of appearances, I don't think anyone does a better job because Avenger uses the stock pieces. Like when it comes to using custom parts, it's really easy to grab a bunch of custom parts and put them on an edit. But it's way more interesting when you use what's available. Because then it's really easy to distribute, you know, it doesn't really clutter up your game in a significant way. You know, I just find that to be more impressive. So he's probably the best person for appearances out of the lot, for sure. Like, if you want more accurate appearances, I guess you can find other guys, but yeah, most of the time that doesn't work for me. Whose Edge is this? Is this Senator's Edge? No, it's not. Senator had logos. I'm just going through the workshop. Yeah, it was Avengers Edge. That's why we have the entrance. That's why we have the entrance attire. Right, makes sense. It just seemed a little bigger than I remember. But Edge was a tall guy, and then Benoit was a small guy. So there's that. That's probably why. Let me see what's going on with the match. I was just checking the workshop a while ago. Yeah, Benoit might be small here, and then Edge might be large. That's probably why it looks so weird. Because Benoit's small, really, more so than Edge. Yeah, and he's gonna have all the technical moves, all the transitions and stuff. For obvious reasons. About no soul the DDT. Yeah, so he's gonna have stuff like that. Oh, we got fancy reversals. Does this chain? I can't remember if the reversals chain. Maybe not. Because the reversal is so what's the word? It's so situational that I don't think I bothered. Yeah, there was a time where an entire evening was just setting up a bunch of stuff. And you think it was a waste of time, but it's like, it led to other things. You know, you did that and you created different things and all that different stuff. It really depends on how you want to spend your time. At the end of the day, I think you just need to enjoy it. You can spend your entire life worrying about being productive, but, you know, if you can take care of yourself and your family, you know, you can save for the future and stuff like that, and your debts are sorted out, then, you know, just do whatever at that point. The rest of it's just kind of superficial, isn't it? Oh, Benoit, no. I bet on you, Benoit. You have to win. We are... No. I'm in a Spire Pro, he might lose. Nope. Edge not having it. It's still early for Edge. I also like the fact that these different techniques and things kind of give you an insight into the damage being done. You can kind of tell Edge is a fresher man just based on that reaction versus Benoit, who could barely stand up a while ago. But then it's kind of, ooh. I was gonna say now it's Benoit's time to shine, I guess, but nope. Just ate a flatliner. And he's down for extra time because it's a finish. That gives Edge a chance to pin. Okay, not having it, okay. Not over yet. Benoit might come back. Now, no, if he gets a good run going, then he could actually come back up. Well, what was the name of this move again? Edge-O-Matic or something? It's some lame punny name. Way back in the day. Yeah, Benoit has a lot of work to do, though. Jeez. He can come back, he has a ton of work to do. If he can start getting some back rappels going, then he could actually turn it around. He'd also need to get a striking battle going and win it. Oh, but yeah, right now it's looking kind of grim. Oh, yep, it's looking really grim here. Yeah, I feel like next big move kind of ends it for Edge, especially since he's reversing everything now. Okay, running move. Okay, that's a good start. Catch your breath. That's good. Kind of. Okay, striking battle. Here we go. He needs to win this, though. He can win it, but okay. Oh, he lost. Well. Oh. That's no good. And then Edge stumbled to his feet. And now he's dodging strikes. Yeah, that's game. Oh well. Oh well. I'm gonna do probably Ray versus somebody. I wanna close it out with Ray. Ray's probably one of my favorite wrestlers for sure. That's where the 619 comes from in the View 619. You know, I don't know anything about San Diego, but I know about that. Powerbomb? What? The Wild Man Powerbomb? The reaction's always great. Oh. That's probably my favorite sell. That and the sit-up after they eat like a headshot. Those are my favorite sells. Then obviously the flop. When it happens, it makes sense. It's over. Too much work to be done. Yeah, and he's too far gone. It's over. It's just a matter of time now. Unfortunate. It's like Edge is reversing everything too. Oh, he needs to get some German suplexes going. Russian leg sweep. Did he have? I didn't really realize he had that. But not simple move. He's pushing him off and everything. Yeah. I don't see how he comes back. He's reversing literally everything. Jeez. Back body drop. Doing that a lot. He's just rolling it. Okay. As a start. Okay. I mean, close to the rope. He's not on the rope. Okay. To start. Okay, well. Oh, he's gonna dive. I haven't seen that in a while. Dive to the outside. It's funny because moves to the outside do extra damage, even though you can't see it. Anything to the outside, whether it's a dive or a suplex or whatever, does more damage. So there's some incentive to actually do it. We need German suplexes, man. Need suplexes here. Come on. No suplexes. No, he has the triple German suplex. It's been a while. Oh, she has that. The headbutt. Oh, okay. I mean, you put yourself on the ground, though. Oh, well. Nah, it's not enough. I don't think the crossface allows them to slide. It's a weird move. I guess that makes sense. They never really could slide out. Could never crawl out of it, could they? I don't think they could. Nothing. Striking battle. And nobody tried to finish it in a while. Well, I mean, Benoit's been trying to finish it, but I mean, Edge, really. That should be it if he can get up in time. Nope. He's still exhausted from a while ago. They're trying. He's gonna go for the spear. Yep. Oh, good game. that spear animation is pretty nice. Yeah, everything about that sphere is just really nice. Let's do one more. Let's do... That was what? That was 11 minutes? I'm not actually timing it, but I know how the timing works. Let's do... What's his name? Let's do Ray. I could do a tag match, but I don't think the tag matches are that great, honestly. They tend to be a mess most of the time. Like, sim tag matches in this game aren't great. Play tag matches are fine, you know, but sim matches not so much. The Wolverine. This is a really good one. That one time when he dressed up with Wolverine. That's great. Let's do this one. And then against two though. William Regal, I'd like him to win. They'll go for Regal. Sorry, Regal, you gotta give it up this time. Probably not that color. Give him something more colorful than that. I mean, JBL is a common matchup. JBL is a big guy though. I don't know. Hurricane. Shane Helms. Flair. The orange Flair. The overly tanned Flair. Nah, I gotta fix that Flair. Kinda stocky though. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, but Flair was kind of pudgy at that point, wasn't he? Brock? Nah, Brock will murder him. Can't be Brock. Nah, I can't be Brock. Sorry. Let's do Regal. Come on, Regal. You can fight Ray. Yeah, Brock eats guys alive. Like, he's a proper 2000s Brock Lesnar for sure. Man just grabs you and you go limp. I don't think Brock versus Ray is a great matchup. Like, it's pretty cool because Brock is gonna be weak to a lot of the things that Ray is good at, which is basically like fast moves and stuff. Every wrestler has a set of parameters that they're strong against and weak against just to balance it out. So like the big brawling guy, they're gonna be stronger against strikes. The more amateur background focused guy, they're gonna be stronger against slams and joint locks and stuff like that. The Lucha Libre guy, they're going to be stronger against flying moves for obvious reasons. And they're going to have really strong flying moves in turn. But just to kind of balance it out a bit, you know, like Ray versus Giant. You know, if Ray can hit a lot of high flying moves, he can probably put the Giant down. But if the Giant grabs Ray and kind of just throws him on his head, Ray's probably dead. So stuff like that. Just to kind of give the concept of, you know, big versus small. It's pretty cool in that sense. I did try to set up Ray so he only has like a basic lifting moves. He shouldn't have any body slams or anything outside of like reversals. He's gonna have like arm drags and drop toe holds and stuff like that. And maybe like takedowns and things like that. But he won't have any like big suplex or anything. Ray was always more about speed, really, especially in the WWF, when it was the whole David versus Goliath thing every single time he wrestled. It's like, oh, look at how small Rey Mysterio is. Nah, now they decide to take a bath. That's, well, kids, I'm gonna mute the mic because I have people here, unfortunately. Maybe it's not that bad. The mic is kind of picking it up a little bit, unfortunately. Ugh. Timing sucks. Yeah, family members staying with me. It can be annoying at times, but you know, family. What are you gonna do, you know? Yeah, but Regal's gonna be more about stretches. Ray's gonna be more about like the quick moves, quick takedowns, running around a lot, you know, athleticism and whatnot. You know, everybody has to initiate a grapple regardless, though. Yeah, these guys are really loud, very loud. You know, it's unfortunate, but oh well. We can just watch the match, I guess. I guess Ray had the fireman's carry. That's kind of a lifting move. I like the power bomb into the pin attempt. That was nice. Yeah, but a lot of the faster types of moves from Ray, you can see he's really quick. A lot of stuff like that. I say his type of wrestler does kind of lose out in this gameplay system because, you know, all of the moves are done by initiating a grapple. So at some point he's gonna have to lock up. But he does have a bunch of moves where he can just kind of run around and strike you from all different angles and stuff. That's also cool. Jesus Christ. That's so loud. And Ray's going to the top. Oh god. Well, anyway, maybe the mic's not picking it up that much. Might not be too bad. Yeah, but diving moves from Ray. Shot to the back of the head. He's more or less done what I expected. I think the hardest thing with Ray with getting the 619 to West Coast pop to connect properly. But I did some type of update or modification for that too, where there's like a special situation where they'll set up for the West Coast pop. They'll do the 619 in the corner. They'll get knocked down. He'll go to the sets to the apron. He'll stand up and all that stuff. Because I think by default they don't do that. The best you can do is like the 619 and then pin, you know, which isn't great. That kind of defeats the purpose of the entire sequence. So but there was some type of selling mod I made at some point to allow that to happen. And then that naturally went to like the rollover for dives and stuff like that. Kind of set up to receive the attacker's move. I have to double check though. It's been so long since I've made a mod for this game. Regal's gonna go for the Regal stretch. Ray is gonna throw him into the corner. 619. Yep, 619, yep. Boom. Yeah, for West Coast pop. Right, and now he's gonna stand up for it, which doesn't normally happen. Normally they just get up. Right, he's gonna sell for it, right? Yep. West Coast pop. Someone made a 619 where he stays on the apron, but it doesn't really work because then he gets back into the ring anyway. So I think the one where he followed through is the better one. So we can actually set up for the West Coast pop immediately. The one where he stays on the apron is probably better for when you're manually controlling Ray. And it's much better there. Go for the Hurricane Rana? Yep. Yeah, I remember Ray. And then he's gonna go for it again. Yep. My favorite wrestler. I spent more time on him than anybody else. I literally made things just so he would work properly. Like literally made mods just so he can do that one sequence. Yeah, that's nice. I'll probably end it because it's starting to get loud over here. And you know, once the kids are here, it can be very loud. But you know, they're kids. Anyway, I'm done for now. I'm gonna run. If anyone's around, thanks for watching. If not, you know, thanks for watching if you watch, I guess. I'm not really worried about that. I'm gonna do some stuff offline though.